Trent Magis and Karen Wisheu are physical therapists with Key Creative. Join us as they share how PT is more than movement and how our PTs make movement and play accessible for everyone. Stay tuned. It's time for Key Talks. Welcome back to our wonderful Key Talks podcast, a project of Key Creative. To our listeners, those in the car, getting ready for the day, wherever you are, thank you so much for tuning into us today in our latest episode. So my name is Deanna Halls. I'm Key Creative's comms director. And as usual, across the table from me is Paula Audrey Rivero, Chief Operations Officer with jazz hands.
Things you can't hear on the podcast version.
Yes. Yeah. And Michael Schweik across the table from me, our tech director.
Oh,
jazz hands
fingers.
with jazz fingers.
I did something a little different today. So if you get a chance to peek, you'll see it wasn't as flashy as the jazzy ones I usually do.
Okay.
It was a little bit more slow.
Trying to go like for the...
Little bit slow-mo, yeah.
And if you're tuning into us for the very first time, who are we? Well, we are Key Creative. We are a pediatric rehab practice here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We've got an amazing team of occupational, physical, speech therapists, our amazing social worker, Paula, right here. And we work with all ages, all abilities, and you can fill out an intake form with us at keycreative.com today.
Yeah. Based here in Edmonton and primarily our rural practice.
That's right.
Since 2006, we've been on the road.
Yeah.
Traveling all around from northeast to northwest to south.
2 hills, 3 hills. Hinton, Cold Lake,
Bonnyville,
Sedgwick,
Red Deer,
Lloydminster,
Fort McMurray.
We definitely have expanded a lot more south now because it used to be a lot, just like north of Edmonton. Now it's like almost north of Red Deer.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of work in the south, and we are doing a lot of work here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So although we started as a rural practice, a lot of our clients, maybe not quite half, but a good chunk are now here in Edmonton, an area which we love because this is where our headquarters is. We're on 118th Avenue, and we work in and out of this space. So,
and again, if you happen to be listening to Key Talks and you are living on an acreage in a range road in the middle of rural Alberta, just, still reach out to us. You might be surprised at where we can go.
We've been all around. Yeah. What are we talking about today, Deanna?
We're talking about a corner of our practice that has not had the chance to be on Key Talks yet. So we've had our amazing occupational therapy team, couple speech therapy, speech language pathologist, I should say.
Yes, SLPs.
And today we're having our wonderful physical therapy coaches as our guests today. That's Trent Magis and Karen Wisheu.
Yes. Yeah. Welcoming them out from the green
room.
Oh gosh. Welcome. They're going to get situated. Situated. Always bringing the laughs by my own laughs to my own jokes. Anyway, okay. Welcome. You're here. You're sitting.
Yes.
You're feeling good.
Yes.
We're excited to have you. You're excited to be here. I feel it. We are so lucky and grateful to have you guys here with us today to share a little bit more about the physical therapy practice here at Key Creative. Like Deanna said, we've had a chance to, spotlight and talk with some of the other clinicians on our teams that are OTs and SLPs, but we haven't had a chance to really highlight the physical therapy practice. So I am super grateful to have you guys here. I bet the listeners are excited to learn a little bit more about physical therapy at Key Creative and what that looks like. And I wanted to start off with a very basic question, one that I was thinking about when I was driving here and did not know the answer to, but over the last 15 plus years have always gone back and forth with, is it physical therapy or physiotherapy?
I don't think there's a difference. I think it's just countries.
Oh.
What, is it like a tomato thing?
It is, yeah.
It's a tomato thing.
Yeah.
Like tomato, it can be either one, or tomatoes,
No,
the United States.
It can be either one. I think it tends to be more physical therapy in the States. I know that physiotherapy was very popular in Australia, where I did my schooling. So that was more common there. I don't know the States. I've heard physical therapy is more popular there, but I think it's 50-50.
Okay, so the term is interchangeable and really depends on the organization or place that you're working at.
Yeah.
So it's not like, astronomy type thing at all. No.
Okay.
Nope.
So at Key Creative, we have tended to go with physical therapy. Sounds like it's interchangeable. So whether you hear physiotherapy, physical therapy, you're getting the same type of, you're getting the same discipline.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about physical therapy. What is the foundation of this type of therapy? That's kind of a loaded question, but let's start with that.
I think the best way to describe it is just the idea that I think what I probably heard the most is like movement is medicine.
Oh.
So that's maybe more in the conventional, more medical approach, but it's any sort of therapy that helps through movement. Probably the broadest way to say that.
Okay, I love that. It's making me think movement is magic.
Or what did I hear once? I have heard motion is lotion.
That one weirds me out more.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it for knees and elbows. I get it. Synovial fluid is a thing, but also
it's not wrong. It sounds wrong.
Yeah.
What would you add to that, Trent? You've been practicing physical therapy for how long?
For 15 years now.
15 years, and you've been at Key Creative for 10.
For 10, yes.
Almost 11 years, and we're so grateful. I was joking about the magic because we often refer to Trent as Trent Magic. I know, but it's true because of the incredible work that he does do with our clients and the success that he's able to create with them. And I think even more the relationships. But before we go there, what would be your definition of physical therapy?
I mean, I think just because I've been in the pediatric world pretty much since graduation, my view is very much pediatric centered.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about pediatric physical therapy, what I see it is we're just helping kids be kids so they can still do the things that every other kid can do, just maybe in a different way, but really just helping them be kids and have the same kind of enjoyment and experiences as other kids.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I love that. It makes me sort of think of the creating meaningful learning, which is part of the mission of Key Creative, is that we're looking at creating that meaningful learning. So finding what's the strengths and talents or interests of the children and then aligning the therapy with that so that the learning becomes fun and playful. So yeah, we are a pediatric, we work with children. And so we have a different, approach with our clients. And obviously you mentioned that, it's different because we're all about just helping kids learn by having fun. Can you speak a little bit more to that playful side of the practice?
You want to start that one?
Oh, well.
Yeah, maybe I could say like when you meet a client, what is the first thing that we would do?
I think the first thing kind of go in there to do is just create that relationship with the family and the kids, because without that relationship, you're not going to get any of that valuable time or work from the clients that you're working with. If they don't trust you, then you're not going to be able to ask them to do something that's a little bit out of their comfort zone if you don't have that relationship or already built with them. So there's a lot of the initial, time you just spend having fun with the kids, building that relationship with the family so they trust you as well.
Yeah.
And then from there, then you can get into the nitty-gritty work that needs to be done to help the kids kind of achieve their best, but you got to have that base first.
Yeah. Taking the time to really get to know them.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that surprised me about starting in pediatrics is how much physio you can do or how much like physical therapy you can do without actually doing a whole lot. A lot of the things that kids do in their daily days or their daily life or going to school or while at home is already kind of tangentially like connected to physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can just come in and they're already playing with cars, or they're already reaching up for toys, or they're already chasing one of their siblings around, and you can learn a lot and start with stuff that kids are already doing and already enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in addition to just building rapport, I think that's where I start.
Awesome. The play, getting down,
Yeah.
playing with what they're doing, getting to know what they're interested in. So we're primarily a rural practice, as we were saying. So we bring our like clinic on the road. How is that different for you guys, or how is that challenging? Are there challenges to being a rural practice and a physical therapist?
Like, is the trunk of your car full of all sorts of stuff?
Yes. Tell us about that.
I mean, I have a bit of a collection, but for the most part, I don't tend to bring too much in. If I'm introducing something, then I might bring it. But for the most part, you know, the kids aren't going to have me there every single day. I'm going to go out maybe once a month, depending. And so we tend to work with what they already have.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if a kid wants to play a game, okay, what do you already have at your house? Because what I bring in with me also leaves with me.
Yeah.
There are some cases where I will, like if I'm helping a kid maybe get on a couch better, I might bring a stool to see if that's something that's worth it for the family to invest in. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, if you don't have a stool, what do you have that's similar? What do you have that does this without you needing to spend money or drastically change your life?
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you make it work, Trent? Because you've been doing this now with Key Creative for over 10 years, and you've been traveling all over the province, helping families in all types of environments. How do you make that work?
I think similar to Karen, you go into the home, and when I first started, I'd go in with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, I know this kid. I know what I'm going to work on. I know what I need to do. Too many times you get burned with like, the kid just does not want to do anything that you bring. So it's like, all right. But then like with the experience and the kind of mileage that you put in working with different kids and families, you sort of get that creative plan that you can just sort of swing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like I said, Karen, I don't bring much to my visits either.
Yeah.
And you really sort of go into the environment, go into the family's home, see what they have, see what the client, like what the family or the kid wants to do.
Yeah.
And then making it work with what they currently have. Because like Karen said, you leave with what you come with. So if you bring something fantastic and it works and you take it, well, what are they going to do for the next 29 days between visits? But if you figure out what you have in their home that we could use to make this work, you already have it. You don't have to get something different. You don't have to worry about me bringing it every time. And then they just make it work as part of their daily routine that they can then implement it every day, because we're there once a month. We're not the agents of change. We're not the ones who are doing the work with the kids. It's the families in their own home. So what can we leave and empower the families to do every day that we're not there?
I would think that empowering the families becomes such an important piece of, you know, the success outcomes and the work that we do with the children. Because yes, we're coming in with these ideas and these strategies, but ultimately it's the people who are there, the caregivers, that are spending the most time. I love how you shared that you use what the client or the person has, and you make it useful and meaningful in the therapy so that they can then use what they've got and continue the practice when you're not there. Rather than sometimes, you know, you're going somewhere and you might not have a beam at home, or you might not have a different type of equipment. So you use what they got. It makes me think of the quote on our wall over there: use what you've got, and you've got more than you know. Sometimes we think we need a whole bunch of tricks and tools and things in our trunk of our car, but a lot of times we have a lot more useful things than we think we actually do. So you guys get really resourceful and really creative in your work. I'm wondering if you can think of an example of something that you have been able to use in someone's home that maybe they didn't think could have been used in the way that you ended up using it, but you ended up showing how it could be used.
I don't know if this really answers your question, but I did have a family bust something out that I was like, this is perfect and I can't believe you have it. I was helping a little girl kind of learning to walk and stepping over things. And I was thinking about ways to put obstacles where she sort of naturally had to like step over them to get where she wanted to go.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, we could try rolling up this blanket and putting it across the room. And the mom looks at the kid's older sister and she goes, oh, go get the caterpillar. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she came back with like, it was like this big, like maybe a foot like diameter. And it was multiple meters long. And she just placed it across the room and it fit perfectly. And it was the perfect height to work on stepping for this kid. And I was like, this is it just worked out so nicely. And it was just a giant stuffed caterpillar. And I was like, yeah, just leave that across your room. Yeah.
Very cool. So that became the tool to help her to learn how to step over things.
Because if she wanted to go, because she likes pacing between like these 2 points. So we put that there. So she had to step over it. And it worked on those skills in a way that was very natural without her parents having to like force her to step over this.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have an example that you want to share, Trent?
I think there's one girl I was working with, and one of the goals was around, I think, tying her shoes, usually not in the realm of PT, usually the realm of OT, but just the way our practice worked, this particular client, OT needs was based more on behavior stuff. So I kind of stepped into the OT role of kind of some of that fine motor stuff with some different strategies. And so wanting to learn how to tie her shoes, but it was very difficult for her. It was very frustrating. It was just really hard. So how to engage her in something that she will actually try to do. And she was on an acreage, had horses, loved working with the horses. So, okay, well, got to be able to tie the halter for your horse. So brought the halter rope in and worked on how to, tie a knot around a post for a hitch so you can tie your horse up. And then that gave her the confidence to tie knots, learn how the rope works. And then that sort of helped translate into then being able to tie your shoes. So it's really finding what the kid loves to do. So she loved her horses and she was motivated to do that. Build the confidence there. Then you can translate that into something that might be a little bit harder, or just build that confidence first. Then she can realize, I can do hard stuff.
I can do hard things.
Yeah.
And that's what we call #Trent Magic. No, but really, like, it does in one way seem very simple, but I think sometimes, we think it has to be a direct learning, like with the shoelace. But as you're saying that, it's like finding what's meaningful to that person and then finding a way to adapt or learn the skill using what they love. And it becomes so much more meaningful. They get so much more interested. And then I love what you said is then they're building the confidence to maybe try something different or a little bit harder to learn the skill that then is very practical for tying their shoelace, right? The other thing that comes up for me as you share that story is a little bit about the transdisciplinary approach that we use at Key Creative. Could you guys speak a little bit to that?
I mean, I can speak a little bit more. Like, I think early on in my career, I had the pleasure and the, I guess, really fortunate aspect of working with some fantastic SLPs and OTs and really learning from them. And realizing that, PT can't work in a silo. We can't work on a kid teaching them to walk if they can't be regulated, if they can't have that good engagement with you, if they can't communicate with you to share what they want or what they don't want. So working with the OTs and the SLPs, you learn, okay, what are some strategies around regulation, around behaviors that I can really support when they're not in their best, which, a lot of the times we don't see the kids at their best. And a lot of times we don't even want to see the kids at their best. We want to see them struggling a little bit so we can understand what the family is going through and how we can really help and support them. So then, just working with the, OTs, learning those strategies, working with the SLPs, like how do I communicate with the child who is not talking yet? What do I need to know about AAC and their talker? What do I need to learn about sign language? A lot of kids I use sign language to talk to. So it's very transitional because like I said, we don't work in a silo and you can't just ask a child to do 10 squats. Can't even ask an adult to do 10 squats because they never do their physio either.
They don't do it. No, in my physio class, they asked, and no one in my physio class does their physio exercises.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, but yeah, kind of jumping on with what Trent was saying. I think one of the big things that comes up a lot is community access. So if a lot of families will have goals about they want their kids to participate in some kind of recreation or physical activity in the community. So whether that's biking or swimming or going to the local rec center or playing on a team, there's so much that goes into that is connected with OT and SLP as well. Because the physical act of swimming is PT, but they have to get to the pool. They have to transition into the pool. They have to understand to be able to communicate their needs while they're there, or if they're getting frustrated, they have to be able to get back out.
Yes.
So there's just so much that goes into everything.
Yeah. It's not just about learning to swim. It's the whole process of actually then getting to the pool. So with Key Creative, I think one of the things that's really awesome about our team is that we are a multidisciplinary team. And so we do have a multidisciplinary approach, meaning that a lot of teams are made up of an OT, an SLP, and a PT, depending on the needs of the child. And so I think it's really great that, yes, you're not working in a silo, you're working collaboratively together and helping to come up with solutions that factor in all of these different elements that make it, pretty challenging and complex for a child to learn a new skill. And with our team, we're able to collaborate to support that learning. And I think, the value I see also is that when you're working with a physical therapist at Key Creative, you guys have had so much time to collaborate with other professionals that you guys have that insight, that knowledge, that knowing that this can't be done, on its own. We need to factor in these other things. So you have that lens that's broadened, so that you can anticipate or even sort of think about like, what else do we need to factor in? And I think that's such a strength of the work that we do and how we do it here at Key Creative is that, yes, it's multidisciplinary, but our coaches also already have a transdisciplinary mindset when they're coming in to work with a client, which I think is really, really great. So I kind of wanted to back up a little bit because I realized I kind of jumped in and got going into some of these conversations, which is great. But I was wondering if you guys could share a little bit about or share some of the main reasons why a client would need or want to access physical therapy support.
Yeah. So reasons that you want physical activity. I mean, some of them we've kind of touched on. I think sometimes it comes down to just basic gross motor skills, which if you see a delay or if you're concerned, so maybe they're not.
I'm sorry, I know I'm stuck. What is gross motor? Can we break that down, what that means?
Absolutely. So there's gross motor skills and then fine motor skills. Okay. So gross motor is anything concerning like the larger muscle group. So, it's the difference between your hand would be fine motor, your arm would be gross motor. Okay. So when I think gross motor skills, we're thinking whether that's crawling, that's sitting, that's standing up, walking, and then getting into the more complex skills like running or jumping. So that's kind of that one area. There's a lot under there. I just hit my mic. There's a lot under there with like climbing, and you kind of build on those as those are like the foundational skills for a lot of activities. You'll also get into things like balance. So maybe your kid can walk and they are walking, but maybe they're really unsteady. Maybe they're not very coordinated. They're tripping, they're falling. Maybe they can do everything, but it takes them a bit longer. And you just need some strategies to understand why it takes them longer, or what is it that I can do differently to support them in that way. And then, of course, I talked about like community access or getting more physically active or doing more recreation. Participation is a huge part of physio where sometimes it's not necessarily I need to change the way your kid walks or I need to change the way your kid throws. It's, your kid is the way that they are and they learn the way they learn. But how do we make sure that we find and create a space that is inclusive, that they can participate in this way? Sometimes it's just connecting them with, hey, this is what's out there. Sometimes it's, okay, this is the program you're interested in. How do we make that work? Do we need to provide education or resources to you to help facilitate that inclusion? Or there are great resources or education we can give to the coaches or whoever else might be running a program. Is there anything else you wanted to add? I stopped mid-thought.
No, that's good. Yeah. So the gross motor, fine motor, you talked about the community access, so activities of daily living that there may be challenges in doing. Other areas of that or other challenges that we tend to see in our practice that they're looking for PT support. Trent?
I think sort of jumping off where Karen left, looking at, how do we support those kids to walk or mobilize or get into the community and do what they want to do to be with their friends or their peers. And another piece that we do is equipment. So looking at, does a child need a wheelchair? Does a child need a walker?
Okay.
Karen mentioned earlier something as simple as a stool. Do we need a stool to help a child climb in and out of the bathtub so the parent's not lifting them in and out? As kids get bigger, we get older, and the bad combination.
And stronger, older and stronger.
Sure.
But yeah, really using, like Karen said, sometimes, you get to the point where the child is, well, this is where they're at. We're not going to necessarily change how they do things, but we can change the environment. So we can add a stool so they can get out of the tub by themselves. So then the parent's not lifting them now that they're, 80 pounds, right? Get them wheelchair or walker so that they can get into the community and, walk themselves into the pool and do all this stuff and walk around the mall when they're a teenager and they're hanging out with their friends, or use a wheelchair to get around the zoo, for instance. So just really, again, helping them get to do what everyone else their age is doing, just in a different way.
Yeah. I guess in a broader sense, it's anytime a kid wants to do something or a parent wants their kid to do something, but they can't physically they can't, right? So if they want to if they just want to be able to hold things or grab things, then physio can come into that. There's fine motor. There's a lot of overlap with OT, but like Trent was saying, if they want to go out into the community and go for a walk, okay, let's make that happen.
What are common diagnoses that we would see? Are there some common ones that tend to need physio more than others?
I think the common one, things like cerebral palsy. Really common. Those are the kids who might have their legs affected, their arms affected, maybe one side affected. That sort of changes how they walk. But we've worked with kids with Down syndrome, a lot of kids with an array of kind of the more rare genetic stuff that you couldn't possibly know all of them, but you you work with them. And then even kids with autism, a lot of stuff around that community access for kids with autism. How do you work with a child with autism when that regulation piece makes it difficult for them to attend to a skating lesson? What can you do to help the parent work with the community providers to say, hey, my kid has some challenges with sensory pieces. What can we do to help them get to school? Like Karen was saying, how do we build that strategy of let's work on how to help your child be regulated in the pool. And then once we get that piece, then you can access those community services, right? So we've done a lot of work with those kids as well.
Awesome.
There is also another area that's a lot of overlap between OT and PT is like a lot of sensory things.
Okay.
So with some sensations, specifically vestibular, which is like spinning, rocking, that kind of thing, or even like proprioception, you'll have kids that like crashing sensations or big sensations, right? Where they're impacting with something or they feel like heavy weight through their arms or their legs. Well, physio can help with sensory regulation in a lot of different senses. I think those two in particular, you might come in to get services with Key Creative and your kid is really seeking these things, but maybe they aren't able to get as big of an impact as they want, or maybe they're getting that impact, but maybe it's not safe, right? Or how do we find a way to fill that need, that physical activity, that sensory need in a way that's safe and appropriate?
Okay. So you were talking about the vestibular and the proprioceptive are the two common ones where you'll see physiotherapy being able to support.
Yeah. In my experience, I don't think those are the main ones that are the most physio specific.
I think, I wouldn't say physio specific. It's like that overlap with the OTs where where we fortunately had the benefit of building that knowledge base and that experience with in that realm that because we've worked with this particular population. We've worked with OTs. I know that I've learned a lot from.
And I know we had our key talks on interoception with Coach Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Was she the one? Yeah. So she had done a key talks on interoception, which really talks about, the sensory experience and regulation and things like that. So if you're wanting to learn more about that aspect, you definitely can. And we also did a key talks on self-regulation, which also talked about the sensory experience as well. So very neat to sort of hear, the PT perspective and what the support would look like from your guys' end of things. Thank you for sharing. So as I'm sitting here and just thinking of you two, why pediatric physical therapy? Like, what drew you to this work, and what drew you to this work with Key Creative? And I'd love if both of you could share.
I can start. I think for myself, during my education, I had a placement at a school for kids with special needs. It was 6 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that. And I was there, and I was just sort of basically going every day, working with the kids, but realizing I'm playing every day, and I could get paid to play every day. So it's like, I could do this. And the kids are just, they're so fun, and they keep things very just different and challenging and interesting every single day. And the relationship you build with the families, because I've worked with some families for 4, 5, 6, 8 years, some even longer, and you just really build that relationship with those kids, with those families that I don't think you get in other settings where you have that sort of long-term relationship, and you really see the kids grow, you see the families grow, and you really make an impact that you can see. And I think that's for me, that's the powerful part. Like, I've really made an impact.
Yeah. Well, and I just think, when we were speaking about that relationship and that trust, and I just think of like how special it is that we're traveling to these people's homes and they're welcoming us in to their home and into their family, and what an intimate setting that is, and how rewarding it must be as you work together and achieve these goals and overcome these challenges together, especially over time, the way that you've described. It's really awesome in the sense of like amazing, surprising, beautiful, and powerful work that you guys do. Thank you for sharing that, Trent.
So I have a background in respite. So I was already kind of working in the population before I went to school for physio. And then I think more so than that, like, obviously I really enjoyed working in respite. I really enjoyed working with like the population.
What type of population?
Fair enough. Kids with disabilities. So that was both physical and like intellectual.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even kids who didn't have like a specific physical disability, there's still like a lot that they can learn and that you can work on with physical therapy. But I think kind of similar to what Trent was saying, the best part about pediatric physio is just that it's more fun.
Yeah.
We were mentioning earlier how, adults won't do 10 squats. And so when I was in physio school, they're like, okay, if you injure this part of your body, you do this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is soul sucking. And there are some people who love it and have a great time with it. I have some friends that are like musculoskeletal physios, and they think it's amazing and they love it. But what I like about pediatrics is that you can't have boring exercises.
Yeah.
If you prescribe like calf raises to a kid, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So you have to make it fun.
Yeah.
And that makes it fun for me, is making it fun for them.
Yeah. It's like you really have to be very creative, I would think, and also like innovative with like the ideas that you're coming up with, and having to use what they've got and kind of work on the spot and draw and pull on the things that are there in order to like come up with a strategy and a potential like solution sounds pretty like intimidating from my perspective, but you guys create the magic with it and the meaningful learning, which very cool.
Yeah, there's like one example is if I was in like a regular MUS clinic, I might be doing okay, this person needs to work on balance, so we're just going to do single leg stand for 30 seconds. That's too easy. We'll put like a pillow under your feet. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I'm working with a kid, I'm like, okay, I've put a line of tape on the floor and we're going to break into a castle, but you have to sneak. Right? And then you get to the end, you have to balance on the tower. And that's just way more fun than just standing there for 30 seconds.
Sounds way more fun. You're like bringing some role-playing games into there.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Way more fun.
Yeah. I'm going to pitch the Key role-playing games here, which is part of Key Adventure Club, which is, I think, in its third or fourth year. It's part of Key Adventure Club. It's role-playing games. It's really like creating imaginative learning through role-playing. So as you're saying that, it's making me think of that. And I know you're interested in role-playing games. So I feel like that can be a lot of the win-win. I know with John, our CEO, like when he was really heavily in practice, Trent, just like you, he was like, he loved it so much because he was getting to do martial arts like all the time with the kids. Like he was getting to do a lot of like the fun, playful activities that he enjoys and was getting to teach them to the kids. And, a lot of times the interests would align. And so he was playing every day and having fun. And at the same time, they were overcoming challenges or learning new skills and doing things that they didn't think they could do before. So just that playful, fun aspect can really create wonders, I think, in therapy.
Oh, can I add a story there?
Yes.
Not a PT. I'm a professional human ecologist, but I was just at HomeSense, with my auntie and her kiddo, and she was like, "Stop dragging your feet, stop stomping," and just like they'll just like clomp, 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 clomp throughout this HomeSense, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to do ninja training with me?" And then we practiced just, sort of sneaky walking, trying to like leave no noise. We're gonna sneak into the palace.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
So fun. And I'm sure the stop, stomp, stomp went away a little bit and it got a little bit quieter.
Because the goal was to sneak on the sensei, which was mom.
The outcome was the trick. Awesome. Do you guys have a favorite story you would like to share about in your work as a physical therapist and working with children, families, schools of all abilities?
I'm going to make Trent go first because I need to think. Sorry.
I have to say that, so Trent has been with us for over 10 years. And really, we're kind of laughing about the Trent magic. And I know it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. And I kind of apologize, but I don't. Because Trent really has created wonders with our clients. And the amount of times that I have heard our colleagues speak about like the incredible work you're doing with our clients is too many to count. And I think it is because of what you said at the beginning. There's two things that stood out to me from what you said that completely align. One, you take time to build relationship and actually really get to know the person you're working with. And then the other one is that you play. And isn't that all like people want? And I'm just thinking like my children want is to like be seen and to have someone be fully present with them and like take the time to like play with them. And that's something that you do for our clients and hundreds of clients that you've served around Alberta and given them the gift of your time, and not just your time, like your undivided presence. It may feel like, light and fuzzy, but it is magical. And me, it's life-changing. And it makes such a difference in our world. So thank you for all the work and energy and love that you've shared with so many people. Had to say it. Had to take this opportunity. What is one of your favorite stories?
I'll just do one that is very kind of recent.
Yeah.
I was working with a particular child at a school, and the family had been approved for specialized services or FSCD services, and they asked their little guy, who do you want to work with you? He said, Trent. And unfortunately, it was at a time where I was going on leave. I've been on leave for the last five months this year. And the family knew, like, we'll wait. So I get to start working with this little guy in January, and I'm really excited. And it's just, like I said, building those relationships and feeling that appreciation from whether it's the child or the family, just knowing that you appreciate and what you do is appreciated there, and that, it's noticed.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. How beautiful. And there's been more than one who has requested Trent, that's for sure. And now Karen, for those of you that don't know, is newer to our practice. You're into your 6th, 7th month at Key Creative. And
there.
We are also extremely, I feel like, blessed and lucky and fortunate to also have you on the team. I think the similarity I see in the two of you that I think makes like you guys such an incredible PT team is the love to create and to play, right? And that you really show up with that spirit and that energy for our clients. And just the willingness of our whole team to like get out there on the road, rain or shine, snow, but no ice. We don't want you driving when it's icy. No, don't drive when it's icy. If the roads are red, do not go. But traveling, all over, like I said, all over the province. I say that a lot just because I feel like it really is something unique and special that we're doing and getting out there. And the level of gratitude and appreciation that I know that our clients feel for that is such a rewarding thing. So we thank our clients who are listening and who have been part of our services as well, for being part of our team and part of our growth and our learning together. Any other last comments?
I mean, I want to talk about intake for our practice for a second, because one of the questions you'll get right away off the bat is, what are your child's strengths? What do they like to do? And I would hope that by listening to all of us here, that those are not throwaway questions. And I don't want you to just say like, they like Netflix. Okay, what episode, what shows, what characters? Was there like is there a cool song in that show that they're repeating on the way to school?
Going up,
Exactly.
And that can be 60 seconds.
It's keep it in that 3 to 5 second.
And that can change.
I know how long I can go now.
The approaches, the resources, the visuals, all those different things that can just really kind of prime us before we show up to your doorstep. And
we do really try to tailor. As you guys are speaking and you're saying that, Deanna, those things matter in our work. Like when you're telling me your favorite color, like I am now using that because I know you care about it. And so I care about it. So when I'm choosing a font color for like writing strategies, you bet I'm choosing your favorite color in there. And how, again, that makes us feel seen and heard, makes the learning much more, like, how would you say, like it happens much more quickly, right?
Quick story. I will choose my socks based on which client I'm going to go see.
OMG.
Construction socks.
I love it.
If there's a little guy who loves construction, I wear my construction socks. If there's someone who loves Monsters Inc., I wear my Monsters Inc. socks.
Yes.
So, and then it just gives you like, if they're having a bad day, the number of times my socks have saved it.
You bet that makes a difference.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at my socks.
You bet.
And look at your socks. And it's like, So
that warms my heart so much. And again, like, yes, I feel that for our clients. And just as a parent, like when you have someone coming in with that level of care for your child, that you have like thought to wear a certain type of socks for my child, like my heart is so full from that. So on behalf of all parents, like, thank you for caring and taking the time to do that. And I think that like really is sometimes the difference, right? Like that's the difference.
Yeah. The kid that Trent, or one of them, I don't know how many you've done it for, he wore the construction socks for. I was brought on the team while he was on leave, and in one of the visits, we were talking to Mom. We're like, "Oh, how's the day going?" And she's like, "He has been waiting for you guys for like an hour and a half. She's like, last night at dinner, he was like like, I forget what word he used, but he was like waiting for us and he was like asking for us. And mom's like, nope, that's tomorrow. 9 a.m. waiting at the door.
You know you have a good therapist when. Karen, have you taken on from your mentor here the idea of wearing the right colored socks or themed socks?
I have. Every time I go to a store that has socks, I look and I have yet to find any fun socks in my size. And it crushes my soul every time. I'm like, none of the kids will like you now.
Okay, I have just found, I know we're going off here just very quick and then we can start, but I have found graffiti pens that you can actually like graffiti onto clothing. Now,
I do have fabric pens.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a tip. You heard it here.
I'm going to go buy some white socks after this.
Nice.
Why buy them when you can make them?
My art skills coming back.
You are an artist. Yes, very talented artist. That's the other cool thing about our coaches. And Karen and Trent are also like very talented people in many other ways. I mean, yes, their tool belt is that they're, experts, physical therapists have that as their professional designations, but they're also really great athletes, artists, creators, innovators, the types of things that I know Trent has made from his very own trailer and that Karen has drawn art pieces during, a meeting to stay regulated.
I was also focusing.
To stay regulated. These are very masterful people.
So I think this would be a great time to talk about Key Adventure Club, which is not our success coaching fill out an intake form. It's a separate branch where we do all sorts of adaptive recreation activities, which Trent here has been an amazing leader for multiple programs for many years, right, Paula?
Yes, many. Yeah. So we spoke about key role-playing games, but I think some of the more active ones that Trent has led have been key climbing, key rides with you too, have been sort of the main ones that have ran for multiple years. Do you want to speak a little bit about those?
Well, I think for Key Adventure Club, it's just been really a fantastic opportunity to work with families and kids to, the way that I see it is giving the families and kids tools so that they don't need the Key Creative adapted program. They can access their community. So something like Key Climbs or Key Rides with You Too, or we've done a few iterations of key skating, skateboarding, some different things like that is, a lot of times families approach Key Adventure Club and say, like, we were told they can't attend our swim lessons, or we're told, our kid can't attend climbing or can't attend skating lessons because, whether it's for regulation needs or communication or their physical ability, their community programs haven't been able to support them. So then the way that I see Key Adventure Club is we get them to a point where then they don't need Key Adventure Club. Then they can, they can learn the regulation and the behavior strategies and the basic skills with us in a supportive program. And then they can take that and they can then access our community supports, which is kind of what we want. We want them out in the community with their friends, with their peers, with their family groups, all of that stuff. So then they can experience life as any other kid doing things that all other kids want to do.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. I had forgotten about key skating. Yeah, we've done a few different things. And I think, yes, I agree that it does give them a good starting point. And I think the other thing that it provides is like a sense of safety, that you're in a safe place to like be yourself, to learn, to try something new or something you've done before, but you're with people that are really going to welcome you and support you where you're at. The other thing that we have done with some programs is made it so that, it's also family based. So like a brother or a sister or a sibling is participating with them, whereas maybe the sibling who has the disability or the diagnosis may not be as welcome into that more traditional setting or typical program, let's say. Their sibling coming to our program is a safer place to start, right? And so we've seen a lot of that where like the sibling or the friend or the family have participated in the program and it's been a stepping stone, to maybe something else, or somewhere else, but definitely a safe starting space for people of all abilities, for sure. Key climbing usually runs twice a year. We usually look fall, spring, and Key rides with you too as a learn to ride a 2-wheel bike. That's usually ran, is it summer or spring?
We've usually been running it during summer, so like July.
During the summer. Yeah, okay, during the summer. So if you have an interest in any of those programs, you can sign up to be a member with Key Adventure Club, and you will get all the updates, news, registration.
There's Young Masters Club as well.
Yeah, and Young Masters Club, is the Taekwondo program. So any interest in that, let us know, keycreative.com. All right. Well, Karen, Trent, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure having you. We are grateful that you took the time to join us, share a little bit more about physical or physiotherapy, tomato, whatever you're feeling in the day. It works. Thank you. We are blessed, lucky, fortunate to have you guys as part of the team. And we look forward to creating and celebrating more awesome with you and with the children, families, and schools that we serve across the province and here in Edmonton.
Awesome. Well, time to whoosh it out, everybody.
Whoosh it out.
All right.
Here we go.
Whoosh. Yay.
Key Talks is a project of Key Creative. Our co-hosts are Paula Audrey Rivero and Deanna Halls. Our production team is Michael Schwake, Jessa Dupuis, and Deanna Halls. Music by John Rivero. To reach out to us or access services for you or your family, visit keycreative.com. That's QICreative.com and fill out our online intake form. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.